All right, all praise to the Most High Yahweh, and to His Son, my brother, Amashiach Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. All right, I'm back again with another video, and in this video, we're going to look over this meme, and I like to do this sometimes. I like to do like a questioning and a correction of different memes, nowadays memes or the truth supposedly or the answer and or a short quick way to learn. So in this meme, I'm going to look at the content and the contents of it and tell you what I think about it. So the meme goes like this: if it was if it wasn't for the black Moors of Egypt teaching the Edomites, this is how they would look today. If it wasn't for the black Moors of Egypt teaching the Edomites, this is how they would look today. So, the first era and that we're going to look at is the doubling down of the meaning of a color that is dealing with, in general, black people. So you have the term the black Moors, the blackamoors. The umbrella terminology is just Moors. The word Moors means another contrast of black. So you have, you know, the black Moors, the black of Egypt teaching the Edomites. So, from my understanding, the Moors was dealing with the opposite end of Africa. These are people. So you have a umbrella terminology dealing with skin complexion, and most of these people with the with dark complexion were grouped under the umbrella term of Moors, and this terminology mostly was dealing with the Ishmaelites. For some odd reason, we are grouping the Arabs as Ishmael and then the Moors as Israelites, when there was a small percentage of Israelites among many other races and nations of people that was considered Moors. So that's one thing. And the Moors came out of, if anything, West Africa, but at the same time, they was mostly dealing with the northwest African region. Those Moors content, and they went into Portugal and Spain. So the other understanding, yeah, the Egypt thing, you know, we could skip over that because Egypt is dealing with other stuff. You have Mamelukes, you had other entities of dark races of people, you know, in that region dealing with um, more connections. So we have to just understand that many of these terms are umbrella terms, just like African Americans, even though many of the Native American groupings in the Americas are dark complexion, or most of them consider themselves black Americans. But when you get into the understanding of the ethnic groups and stuff by law and genetic companies and our government itself, you understand that, you know, certain dark complexion Native American groups wouldn't be classified as Native Americans. They would be classified either as Black Americans or African Americans. You know, they'll just give a broad umbrella terminology to those people. So the same with the Moors. So we move on into, and another, real quick, I'm sorry, but another term that also was used for black people um, in Eastern Africa, Zanzibar, Zanzibar people. So we have to, you know, understand these these markers. Zanzibars are dealing with, you know, some aspect of Israelite being slaves under the so-called Arab slave trade, and I have to say so-called Arab slave trade because the other word Arab is dealing with the same umbrella content of just misleading people when there's groupings of people put together, you know. So I would prefer to say the sub-Sahara slave trade, if anything. So you have Zanzibar, you have Mamelukes. All these are titles and groups of people dealing with other loosely connected entities of Moors. So the Edomites. So we get back to the Edomites. So we all understand the terminology of how we could, you know, depict uh, white people as monkeys more so than black people, and you know, many people in Kemet um, brought to everybody understanding. If you ever shaved a a monkey, you know, they'll be pale complexion, or they'll look just like white people would look when you shave white people of their, you know, hairy content. So this these content on this meme is dealing with a combination of uh, talking points from Israelite um, communities and talking points from Kemet communities, because you have content of Moors in Egypt, and then you have content of Edom, and then you have this um, evolutional concept of Caucasian people. So, and all these things are different. So, we're gonna get into the Edomite thing. So, uh, in the Israelite community and our understanding, we have this misconception that Edom is dealing with white people, pale complexion white people in general, and we have this misconception of them being very hairy people, and we have this understanding of them being Caucasian based people. So the problem is, you know, the Caucasian people are Japhetic people, and the Japhetic people are a total different grouping of people, period. They come from a dark complexion group of people, and as of today, the same Japhetic stock of people are still dark groupings of people. So the misunderstanding comes from us not being aware that, and many of us understand that, Japhetic people were dark, but we have this misconception of them changing from dark to a albino into a pale complexion grouping of people. When that's not the case, when the case is this, these people just have mutations all along all the haplogroups and subclades, and within their branches of people, they have mutations throughout their gene pool. So the thing, Japhet, is they could make all the complexion types of people without mixing, and that's what we have to get into a understanding with the new information dealing with DNA and other things. We have to know that this is the case versus, you know, them heavily mixing with different people to get these shades to end up like a Brazilian person complexion. So we have to understand that Japhet is a different group of people that do have pale complexion people among their population. So we have to understand that. And then we have to understand that Edom is dealing with a Shemitic grouping of people that is also a dark race of people that mix on purpose to get a pale complexion group of people. So once we understand those things, then we get better find out who and where exactly Edom is, and hopefully with this channel, hopefully I could point out the obvious and say, okay, if you want to say Edom is the Arab, you have to understand the terminology that's directly detailing what you're trying to point to, and that's the Berbers. Edom is dealing with the Berbers, and if you understand the Berbers was this collection of people, and they still are this collection of people, and these are the people that promoted the sub-Sahara slave trade. Not just that they promoted it, they sponsored and they also put their own people. They have their own people in slave trade today. So these people, the Berber and the Habesha people, these are your Edomite people, and these are the people that was running the spice routes. So you have this spice route from Africa, from Northwest Africa, going into Northeast Africa, going into Asia via the Silk Road connection. So you have this vast shipping route via northern parts of Africa. So way before there was the slave trade, these people was merchants, and like all these kingdoms and places that Israelites created and went to, we became involved with other nations and business transactions and pacts and treaties, and we let our judgment become compromised by greed and wealth and status and kingdoms, to where anybody could infiltrate and basically take over our empires, and that will happen. So the Berbers are still, doing the same setup that they've been doing for centuries. So we have to be aware of exactly who the Edomites are. So the Edomites are brown, ruddy complexion people. They do have uh, content of hairy bodies, but not exactly as the way that they want, uh, as we are seeing them portrayed in this picture. This picture is portraying the content of Caucasian people. And not just that, but even Caucasian people prefer to be, you know, related to apes versus the current development and understanding of humans. So that's why you have them pushing the evolution thing and the whole concept of a Bigfoot and Neanderthal genes and stuff like that, because they really want to fit into history and they want to use science to, use that platform and argument to do it with. Even though these are not old people, these are people that just, been around not too long. So we have to understand, that these people are, the youngest groupings of people on the planet. And then, and I'm talking about Japhetic uh, Caucasian people. So we move on into uh, Edomites grabbing the content of being accused of being uh, pink to white, hairy complexion people. And some of them are, and some are like that because they purposely mix with Caucasian people. They purposely mix with the the pale group of complexion of Caucasian people, of Japhetic people, and they was mixing themselves to become pale complexion. So you do have a small population among Shemitic Edomites that are pale complexion people. Other than that, you have mostly brown, ruddy skin complexion people as Edom. So, so that was what I wanted to point out. And Edom, so um, the other argument that Israelites would make is that this was the period before the Renaissance, the rebirth of the white people. So they say that these people went into the Caucasian mountains and they came out knowing everything that they needed to know about Western civilization and them wanting to enforce those things on dark races of people. So, so they went from uh, Mount Seir or Petra, Georgia, Jordan, and they went to Georgia, Russia, or the Caucasus mountain range to revamp a system that already systems. Let me put it this way: systems that already existed. So um, we have to question, these things. So they either created those systems or they overran those developments that was already there, that was run by dark groups of people, and they conquered them and took their identity. Other than that, we are constantly giving Edomites either too much credit or not enough credit for their understanding with architect and sculpting and other things. So we have to question the the carvings of the of the temples within Mount Seir versus the other stuff that we want to say that they de-evolved into after leaving a collapsed state of Rome and being pushed into the Caucasian or the Caucasus Mountains. So, so we have to understand that. So, other than that, we also have to understand that even with so many dark groups of people leaving Europe and Israelites being placed in Europe via Greece and Rome and other captivities, there was still a lot of dark races of people in Europe. We have to be mindful of that. So if we're gonna, assume this about Caucasian people and Edom, we have to assume the same thing about our people having like super froze and dreadlocks, you know, and and I'm pretty sure in some coats of arms, you have those paintings of dark complexion people with you know hair traits that would relate to uh, black features. Other than that, we have to be like, well, there was other dark races of people, and what was their grooming technique? If the Israelites, even if these were the the Israelites that wasn't Hellenized, there would have to be some um, some way to tell the difference between those groups of people, and this is how we have to be aware of certain things that we grab onto as fact and truth and use it as a teaching tool when it's not consistent with a lot of stuff. When new information comes and you start to understand something different, and there's nothing wrong with changing a view that you once had in the past to a different point of view with new facts and information. You know, it's called just growing up and accepting you know the truth. Our teachers, our ourselves, our own understanding is flawed by stereotypes and um, things that we want to accept as you know fact, but we don't have enough information to to call it that, and we just run with it anyway because you know it's different from the obvious information that we've been taught in school. So so um I'm gonna show you some Edomites. So these are this is the meme dealing with the Edomites. So, and the Edomites, they uh, they are a different grouping of people versus the Japhetic people. Now, the Caucasian people, the Japhetic people, they have the elite people. Let's put it like this: the elite and some of the population of those people, they are okay with being called evolved apes, or primates. They are okay with being associated with a Bigfoot and or a yeti type of creature that is highly advanced and intellectual, intellectual being. So let's get that out the way, and that's why you have them investing heavily in that Neanderthal DNA, because like they want to prove somebody wrong. They want to fit into history and science. They want to be, even the Edomites and stuff. They want to be the the animals that was predated before the Edomites. So, um, and that won't be the case ever. So let's get into who the Edomites are in reality. So in reality, these are the Edomites. These are your brown, ruddy people. These are your people right here. You see this skin tone? This is their natural look. This is the natural look. Some more Edomites. So this is a Edomite right here. This would be a Berber. Now we switch into other content of Edomites. This would be your representation of people that would be called Afro Asiatic people, aka Habesha people, meaning Shemitic uh, groupings of people. This would be your Edomites from the eastern parts of Africa. Your Ethiopians, your Somalis, your Eritreans. Those people groups would be your Edomites in that region. Many of us been told and taught that Hamites live in that region. Yes, there are Hamites in that region, but a majority of those people in that region are Shemitic Edomites. So when you start to get involved with the understanding of DNA, you start to look at the different ethnic groups and demographic of people groups, you start to see the percentages of there's more Shemitic groups of people in Africa versus Hamitic people. The Hamitic population is probably the lowest population. Even the Japhetic people might be just as big as the Hamitic stock of people in Africa. So that's the irony. Even the African people, the Hamitic people of Africa, don't have a big enough population to compete with Japhetic people. And when you understand that Japhetic people are a big grouping of people with dark races of people in the pale complexion groups of people, then you would be like, oh man, how did we miss this? But I was the same way. I believe all white people was Edom and so on. And let's see, let's get to this picture right here. These are your Edomite women, some more of the same, different complexion. You got the variation of skin tone. And we all see these Ethiopian people and Somali people. Ilhan Omar, we see um, is the model Iman. So these are the Edomites. These are the daughters of Edom. Now let's look at the pale complexion people, the people that just turned pale. So you have Nicolas Cage, you have Zidane, you have LBJ, and look at here for people that want to use the precepts, a lot of those precepts. So you have Einstein, that would be your blacksmith of the instrument that is talking about the nuclear weapon. You have Napoleon, you know, he was trying to make Europe into an empire. And you have Hitler, who also tried to make um, Europe into an empire. So these are the Edomites that you are trying to look for. So the pale complexion Edomites are dealing with Edomites in Albania, southern Greece, parts of Tunisia, Libya, and Maghreb, the Maghreb region, that um, Algeria region as well. So these are your Edomites, your pale complexion Edomites that many of you people, often get confused with um, other white people. I believe also the Wright brothers are also dealing with the same grouping of Edom. So this was the information that I thought I would share with y'all on this channel, and hopefully I can share more information. Maybe not the heavy DNA stuff, I use that mostly for my other channel. But this channel, I could easily do like commentary on news and memes with ease, and to just give people proper visualization support on what we are looking at. What is the status of the problem that we need to fix. So with that being said, I want to say all praise to the Most High Yahweh, and to His Son, my brother Amashiach Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. Thank all y'all, and peace.